Hi everyone, my name is Sydney and today I'm going to be doing a book haul of the books that I either bought or they were given to me when I was in India. So if you don't know, in March I went to India to do my Kundalini yoga teacher training course, and I got to be in Rishikesh for a month, but I also extended my travels by going to New Delhi afterwards because I knew that if this being my first time going to India, if I didn't go to see the Taj Mahal, I knew I would be coming back home to Melbourne, Australia, feeling very upset. So I made sure I did that. And honestly, I can't begin to describe how wonderful this entire experience was for me. It was indescribable. It was the most beautiful experience I've ever had. And if you are thinking of wanting to do your own yoga teacher training course, I cannot highly recommend enough going to India. You will learn so much about yourself, and you will be so embedded within the culture, so embedded within the sacred root of where yoga came from. It is the most important thing, I personally would say. Being amongst the Ganga and being amongst the culture, the people, the colors, the harmony that is within the chaos. There is so much harmony within that amount of chaos. So I think I'll just go straight into the video. So here we go. The first book I'm going to be talking about is called Asana, Pranayama, Mudra, Bandha by Swami, Satyananda, Saraswati. And this book was given to us upon arrival at the Nada Yoga School, which is where I studied Kundalini. So upon arrival, we had an opening ceremony, which was truly beautiful. We were all called up one by one. We had to say our name, where we were from, why we are in India, why we are doing this course. Then we greeted some of our teachers who stood beside us. So it was really beautiful. We did that, and then they gave us a bag that were filled with different things. So within that bag there was this book, and there was also a neti pot which we got to use within the course, which is really interesting because I've never used a neti pot in my bloody life. So it was interesting, and I actually personally really liked it. At the beginning of using it, it was really funny because I was saying to people around me that I felt so nervous. It was like, it felt like I was losing my virginity again, or you know, losing my neti pot virginity. So it was really interesting, but we're going a bit off topic. So this book is absolutely essential. It is incredible because it involves everything that a yoga class is about. So asana is the poses that you hold within a yoga class. So for example, Shavasana, I think we all know Shavasana. It's the pose where you are lying down and you have your arms by your side, and usually you finish with Shavasana, or you can start with Shavasana, but usually you finish a yoga class in Shavasana. And it's kind of like a deep meditation, a moment to come back to the self. So yeah, as an example, that is one. Or tree pose, which is where you stand on one foot and the other foot is bent at the knee and connected to your supporting leg, and then your hands can be either in like prayer position or can rise up to the sky. Yeah, so those two are examples of asana. Pranayama is the use of breath. So there are different pranayama techniques. You can breathe through the nose. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. That one is called Nadi Shodhana. And there are different mudras, which are hand gestures that you hold within pranayama. So for example, if you were doing Nadi Shodhana through your nose, I hope I'm saying that correctly, by the way, sorry if I'm not, you would have your index and middle finger on your third eye, and then your ring finger and your thumb resting on your nose. So you can inhale through your left and exhale through your right. or vice versa, or just left inhaling and exhaling, or right inhaling, exhaling. You can do it different ways. But yeah, so that is an example of a mudra, or you can hold the hand in a different way. But yes, so pranayama is the use of breath, and there are different techniques of how you can use the breath, which was so beautiful to learn about whilst being in India, because there are different forms of techniques that can build heat within your body, can build a bit of fire. For example, when you're breathing from your belly, you're inhaling, exhaling really fast, and it looks really funny of my belly moving up and down, but that can create such a heat in your body. They call it Kapalbhati, or the other name is Bastrika breathing, and it really generates this heat in your body. Then there are other techniques of pranayama which involve cooling down the body. So for example, this one through the nose, or breathing through the mouth. As an example, I'll just show you because I love talking about this kind of stuff. If you had your tongue like this, can you see that? So it's kind of like, people will use the breath of fire pranayamas to really generate a heat. If you're in a very cold environment, people use pranayama to warm themselves up, or in turn they use pranayama to cool themselves down. So it's really beautiful to know the different types of pranayama, but also really beautiful to go into depth of them and find what one suits you. Mudras are hand gestures, as I said before. One of my favorite things about yoga is mudras. I really have always felt very connected to my hands, the energy that I have within my hands, and how we can curve or create images through our hands and express ourselves through our hands. I apparently express myself a lot when I'm talking through my hands. In the mudras, they have a lot of symbolic meaning, and I have always been a person who needs symbolism in my life. I believe that there is meaning behind everything. As an example of a mudra, we have the room mudra, which is where you have your fingers here connected, interlaced, and you bring your thumbs together and these two together, and the mudra is just like that, and you can place it wherever you'd like, and this connects us to the feminine energy. It connects us to our womb. So bandhas are basically like root locks. So they say that the Sanskrit word bandha means to hold, tighten, or lock. It's like when you are trying to access your first chakra, your root chakra, you need to experience the Mula Bandha, which is where you squeeze. There is another section within this book, which is called Shat Karma. Shat Karma means 6 actions which you can use to purify and cleanse the body. So, for example, within Shat Karma, they use the neti pot. And that was something we explored, and it was a lot of fun and actually really wonderful to use. I personally really liked it, and when I was in India, I got a little bit sick. Not sick as in like Delhi belly, they call it. I got sick in terms of just like a cold, because Rishikesh was really cold when I was there. So I used the neti pot for my nose to release congestion, and it actually really helped. Within a few days I was all clear, so that was really great. If you're going into your yoga practice, whether it's for yourself or if you want to become a teacher, this book is incredible and I highly recommend. So the next book is called Kundalini Tantra, and this is the form of yoga that I studied. So this book has a little story to it which is really sweet. So there was a person in my course, his name is Steve, and he's from Germany. He bought this book, Kundalini Tantra, and like within the first few days of us learning new things within the course, he already went and bought it and was showing all of the people in the class how good it was. And me and one of the girls that I befriended, Milu, we were talking about how we really wanted to get it. And Steve, it was so beautiful. One day he went and he bought 2 copies for Milu and I, and he gave it to both of us, and within both of them he wrote a little letter saying, "Embrace the void and keep on dancing. Love, light, intelligence. Your journey is blessed. Sincerely, S." And I am so grateful to Steve because he is such a beautiful soul. He is so in tune with his childlike nature that it is really beautiful to see. Within this course, the people that we were able to meet were all on the same wavelength. Everyone was of different ages, of different genders, but nothing mattered. Your past didn't matter. We were all there in the present, and we were sharing and learning and growing and giving and so many ends, but it was just the most beautiful thing. So this book goes into depth of each chakra because Kundalini is all about the awakening and balancing of your 7 chakras. So within this book they have images for each chakra. So for example, for the Muladhara chakra, which is our root chakra, they have this. For our Anahata chakra, our heart chakra, they have this image. There's a few different pranayamas, mudras, asanas in here as well, which is just super important to understand. There's so much. If I get to the end, I will hopefully make a book talk and just discuss all this stuff on Kundalini if you would like to know more about it. So moving on, these 2 books were also given to me, and they were given to me by my philosophy teacher, who is also the author of these books. So that's freaking awesome. His name is Jivasu. And so we have this book, Meditation, which is about meditation. And then we have this book, Naturality. I've always found that word so hard to say. Naturality. So the meditation book by Jivasu is about meditation, and it involves different practices that you can explore. So different practices towards awakening of the chakras, silencing the mind, coming back to the self. It's a really beautiful book. Yeah, Jivasu, his classes were my favorite. I love him. If you're in Rishikesh, you need to check him out. He also gave us a book on naturality, which he actually, after my Kundalini course that I did, he ended up doing a free week of the naturality course. I unfortunately wasn't able to go, but I heard beautiful things about it. He would bring different topics up for conversation. So for example, talking about life and death. I was very lucky that Jivasu taught me almost every day. So I received so much love, so much knowledge from this person who is the definition of wisdom. And he was so cool. He looked a lot like Yoda from Star Wars. The wisdom he holds is truly beautiful and inspiring. And then I have one more book which I will talk about. And this book is one that I bought. So I really tried to contain myself because I love books and I spend a lot of money on books. It's really easy to spend money on books, honestly. It's the most easiest thing because there are so many books out there in this world and that are coming into this world that are just incredible and hold so much knowledge. So I went into a bookshop and I told myself I wasn't going to buy anything. But then I saw this book and I had to. So this book is called Awakening Shakti by Sally Kempton. And so this also has a little story to it. A few days before I got this book, we did a meditation, and it was within Jivasu's class, the teacher author I just talked about. And within this meditation, I was brought an image of a white lion. For me, within meditation, I find it really beautiful towards what I end up seeing, what comes to my mind's eye, what I end up thinking about, or the transition into coming back to the self with no thoughts. Like, what is that process? And when I receive visions within my meditations, I really hold on to them because they're so important. They are true reflections of yourself, or true reflections of what is to come. So a lot of the time I receive, I would say, animal totems, spirit animals. And every time I have received one of them, they have always been white. When I was here back home, I did an hour of chanting the Gayatri mantra, and within that, I saw a vision of a white tiger. When I was in India, we weren't chanting, but we were doing a different form of meditation. And I received a vision of a white lion in front of me. And it was beautiful because Jivasu was telling us that what we see within our visions, what we see within our dreams, are a reflection of ourself. Which is really interesting to me because I have never envisioned myself as a tiger or a lion. Like, I'm not a super confrontational person, or I'm not super courageous or brave. I know that I'm quite a shy person. Like, when it comes to standing up for myself, I find it really hard. I've really been growing into myself and understanding the importance of being able to speak up in moments of really needing to. So it was really beautiful to have these animals come to me at different times in my life, but both in times of transformation, which, if you've seen one of my videos called Rise Sister Rise, I talk about how I feel this year as the year of traveling and transformation. Massively, those two things. When this lion came, it was a moment of transforming my energy into a strong energy. It was really interesting because I really started to think about, why did this lion come to me? And within class, we were talking about different gods, different goddesses. And there is a goddess called Durga. Durga has 8 arms, and she sits upon a lion. She is the warrior goddess of protection and inner strength. These were the two things I was really trying to channel. And it was beautiful because I truly felt like I was channeling this strength, which was coming from this goddess Durga, and her lion was before me. But in a way, her lion was my lion, and in a way, she is me. I got this book, and Shakti is energy, so it's all about awakening energy. This book is called Awakening Shakti, which is about awakening energy within you by going into deep discussion of different goddesses that are used within yoga. So when I was in the bookshop, thinking about this vision I had in meditation, and thinking so much about Durga, like, who is Durga? I know a little bit about her, like, she's strength, but I want to know more about her because I feel like she came to me. So I started reading about her in this book, and I was immediately like, I need this book. I can't tell you how beautiful this book is, and the illustrations in here are beautiful. They're really what won me over, but also the fact that there are so many different goddesses in here, like Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati, beautiful, beautiful goddesses who hold different powers with them. And within each chapter that goes into depth of each one, there is different ways of channeling them through meditation, different ways of chanting that involve these goddesses, which I personally, it feels like I'm within a dream. I feel like I'm in my fantasy world. I feel like I'm my spiritual self, my true heightened spiritual self that is outside this body. if that makes sense. I see the source of my light, that is my soul, in a world that is so imaginative and creative. I'm so grateful that I got this book. This book is everything to me. I sat reading about Durga, her chapter, just in absolute awe, knowing that this is the goddess I was channeling, without even knowing that I was channeling her, without even knowing that I needed to channel her. This is who I was channeling. Then later I had other meditations where I envisioned her right in front of me, my hands being upon my knees, 8 hands, 4 of them being stacked upon one of my hands, and then the other 4 being stacked on the other. It was literally a combining of the two of us. We became one, and I love that. It was as if I had made the transformation over, and I felt this strength so within me that I felt like I could do anything. This life is, it can be a scary place, right? It is filled with ups and downs. It is literally a wave, and for me personally, this year has been an absolute wave from the beginning to now. It has been a wave, but I am learning and I'm growing. Everything happens for a reason, and they're beautiful lessons to learn from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was 5 books. I mean, these ones are pretty small, but I'll count them anyway. That I bought. I bought 1 of them and received 4 of them. So yeah, these books are really special to me, and I'm so grateful that I got to go on this trip. That I'm so grateful that I got to go to India to study yoga. I've always wanted to go to India. Finding these books, being given these books, was truly special, and they all hold different stories with them, within being their own stories. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you go to India, I hope you have the most beautiful time. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Alright, as usual, bye!